Alright guys, today I'm going to be showing you 5 traps you can use very easily in the elephant gambit that a lot of people will not have heard of. Now we're going to start off with the most common one, not that, which is going to be after we get into the Jobava Petrov here. We're going to take d4, knight c6 here, only move, and white is going to think, okay, I'm a little bit cleverer than you. I actually had this in game today. It was beautiful. I can just go bishop c4. I can skewer you. It doesn't matter. You're going to be losing this pawn behind and the queen. I don't care if you take my g2 pawn. I just take with check here. And when you move your king, then I'm going to save my rook, and you're going to have no castling rights, and I'm going to be doing fine. If only the world worked like that. If only it worked like that. Instead, we can bong club the king and go to e7. Now, why would we go to e7? The answer is simply that we can stay closer to this bishop. Let's go over a couple things that don't work for white. And if we turn analysis here, you can see this is already very, very losing for white, and we're up 3.5 points. This is crazy. 359 cent pawns is ridiculous. So obviously this intermezzo with knight does not work here, because now both the bishop and rook are hanging simultaneously. And after here we just take, and this is going to be very, very much winning. He cannot go queen to f3 because we simply take, and now we are going to be winning a piece. Thank you very much. And so that clearly does not work. And so the last try that does save the rook is going to be rook to f1. Now, what could be wrong with rook to f1? If we take, he takes, and we take here, but it's our knight. What do we have here? Well, now we just have bishop to h3. And after queen to e2, we can just play rook to e8, or take here, or just take here. It doesn't matter. I like rook to e8 better because there's a chance the opponent does not find bishop to e3, but say he does and he doesn't lose the queen, then we're just going to get the exchange here after this little trade. We're going to take back this pawn here, and he might even just take on a7 and let us trap his bishop. And if we turn on the analysis here, we can see that we have been winning by more than 300 centipawns for so many moves. And this is just very, very potent. You're going to get this in a lot of games, and it's just going to be beautiful. On to trap number 4. Alright guys, this is going to be the second most common trap up here you're going to get in this line. So e4, e5, knight f3, d5. Yeah, that's the elephant gambit. Very, very simple. But now, after knight takes e5, here, takes, yes, it's the same position. So he can actually go back to f3 now. And white is basically just saying, okay, you can have one tempo, but I'm going to just keep my pawn advantage. I'm not going to keep any tension in the center. I'm not going to allow you any tactics. And so after knight c6, white is going to think, oh, well, I can actually get back that tempo with knight to c3. And as you can see from the analysis, this is totally fine for white. But if we turn it off for a minute, and we go to h5 here, now we see there is a fair amount of tension here. And if we go to the Explorer, 73% of people will go for bishop to e2 here. 73%, which is absolutely ludicrous. It means you very rarely have to prepare for anything else, right? So here, you can just go bishop to g4, adding more pressure, and shockingly, most people will castle to try to get out of this, but this is a terrible move. Now, why is it such a terrible move? Because you can go bishop to d6. And now, if white is to play any random move, then we're just going to take here, and he cannot recapture, lest otherwise, there's checkmate. And so, obviously, white seeks to avoid this. And so he's going to play h3. He's thinking, okay, the bishop's just going to go away. There's nothing you can do here. But no, No, we are gambiteers. We cannot be so passive. Instead, we are going to sacrifice the bishop. And his most common move is going to be to take back. And after we take back here, this knight still cannot move away ever, because if it does so, then this is just going to be a checkmate. And so, actually, rook to e1 here is going to be the only move that is going to even hold a draw for the white player. And the reason it holds a draw instead of just winning is because of this little perpetual check here. And there is really nothing that white can do about that. And so say he doesn't play rook to e1. Say he plays d4, which is the most common move, actually. If we look at the database here, d4 should be overwhelmingly the most common move. Okay, so 28%. This is still fine. So d4 is fine. So after here, we're just going to hop in with knight to g4. Say he plays another random move like bishop to e3. If we turn on the analysis here, we can just see how winning this is for the black player. This is 400 centi-pawns. We can just play bishop h2. He goes here. Bishop g3. He comes out. And now we can literally just castle, laughing in the face of danger. If he is to take here, then this is going to be the beginning of his demise. After here, we're forking him. We've got the bishop down. Everything should just fall away very quickly. And so that is trap number 4. I will see you guys all on trap number 3. Alright guys, so it is evident that you cannot really defend that knight that is hanging there without too much difficulty if you use a pawn or you simply move it back and just surrendering too much advantage, too many tempos. Why not just play queen d2 and take the whole center? Now we're even threatening this discovered attack here. And so white is just thinking, okay, now maybe he's going to play bishop e6, maybe he's going to play bishop e7, maybe he's going to come in with the queen. No, we're not going to do any of that. Stockfish plays that. We are not stockfish. We are gambiteers. We are blunderers. And so we will blunder knight to g6 for free here. For free. Never mind the fact that it says it's the best move. I don't know what's wrong with the engine right now. Total blunder. But knight g6, bishop e6. He takes the rook. That's fine. We just take the full center with this knight here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces out, as opposed to his 1, 2. And this piece this piece right here is actually trapped. And this queen only serves as a target because we're just going to have knight to e4. We're going to have bishop to g4. We have so much activity here. And if we go in the opening explorer here, we can see this is a very hard win rate here. And so there are 3 most common moves here, and these are the only things we're going to go over. Knight to c3, knight takes f7, and c3. Now in this trap here for trap number 3, we're going to be going over c3 here. We're going to turn off the analysis for just a second here. So c3. This is a terrible move. And the reason it's terrible is all this does is it prepares d4 or b4. Now, d4 is overwhelmingly the favorite of the c3 players in the database. And so here we're just going to castle. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 attackers of the d4 square right now. 4 of them. Yet, so many people foolishly play this move, pawn to d4, not realizing that we would be fine with having just 3 attackers there, and we can sacrifice the bishop. So after we take, he will take, and then we take back here. And we mentioned knight d4 as an idea earlier, right? Now, this knight is still trapped in the corner, it's still hanging, But now this fork's threatened. He obviously can't come to e3 or win back the queen. And there's probably something even nastier. In fact, we actually just have a mate right here on d1, which is absolutely ludicrous. And so White has to be very careful here, even though he's already losing, right? So if we go in the opening explorer here, most common move here is going to be knight to c3, and we have such a high win rate here. Just to put it in perspective, the wayward queen attack after black goes g6 has only an 83% win rate. This is an 87% win rate. This is insane. Knight to c3 here. If we turn on the analysis, we can just see how winning this is. So here, now we actually have just queen to f5. Queen f5 is such an idea in this opening. So now we still have the pressure. Still have the attack on the queen. We have the pressure on c2. We have this rook breathing fire down the board. We have this full open file over here. This is going to be absolutely dastardly. And so, once again, the queen cannot come to e3 because of this fork. And no, this time we do not have any mating ideas there. Actually, never mind, we absolutely do because of here. And so then we get to have a very nice checkmate with queen takes d3. So queen e3 is still beyond terrible. But okay, what if he tries to go to, I don't know, d2? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. He's still losing the queen. Knight to c2. This is absolutely destroyed. You notice this queen actually has nowhere to go to. Sure, it can go to d3, but now we have the same idea. Knight c2. In fact, that takes out any square along this file here. Here's covered by the bishop. Here's covered by the knight. Here's covered by the pawn. Here's covered by the knight. Here's covered by the queen and the knight. Here's covered by the knight and the queen. Here is covered by this little mating idea. Here is covered by the knight. Here is covered by the queen. Every piece is just working together to ensure the white knight queen is absolutely dominated in this position. Really nothing that she could ever do. And so, really, that is going to be the conclusion of trap up number 3. See you guys all on number 2. Okay, so we're back against main of a forward position. What if he simply plays knight to c3 like a normal person after all this? Well, once again, we're going to have this queen to f5 idea, right? And so now, if you look at the database, is here, most common move is going to be d3. And this is a very normal move of here. We just play knight to d4. And so queen d1 here is unbelievably common, which is insane to me because knight to b3 is going to be the immediate response to this that we are going to get here, just knight to e3. And yes, this is a very uncommon line. Less than 100 games in the chess.com database here. You don't need to worry about that. The obscurity is what makes it so potent. And why such a low win rate when this is seemingly so good? Well, bishop to e3 is somewhat hard to deal with for a lot of the Giga Chads who like to play this line. But it's fine. We just take on here. He takes back. And so now we get to play actually knight to g4, which is such an amazing move. It threatens a checkmate right here. And so now queen to f3. We're going to take on a1. He takes on f5. We are going to take back. And yeah, we're down to 4 games in that debate. This is just going to be equal. And so I know this has just fizzled out to kind of draw-ish a Shen game, but if he manages to not trap this knight, then we're just going to come in with king f8, king g8, and king h8, and we're going to win this knight very easily. Really nothing that he can do about that. Say if he was to go for bishop to e2, as is the second most common move in the database here, this is going to be very much winning here, because now we're going to go for takes on c2 out here, and now we just take on e3. I'm sorry, not wrong knight, but here. And so now this should just be very good. We have this nice little web of knights here. And if he ever tries to trade them off, then we're just going to be able to trade like this. And whichever one he takes, the other one is going to be able to escape. And so that is going to do it for trap number 2. Now for trap number 1, which is the absolute best one on the list. Okay, guys, so after he's taken our rook here, for the number 1 position on the spot, we are going to have this line where he goes knight takes on f7 here. Now, this actually gets us completely equal. So the reason this move is actually so common is because of a concept called desperado. White believes this knight is trapped and has no hope of getting out. For the most part, this is true. However, the only reason that White had any advantage to begin with was because there was a threat of it getting out. Just a very significant threat. And so queen to f3 is going to be the move that we're talking about here. Now, d3 is it's literally just the same line, except instead of castling on queen d2, we have rook to e8, which is beautiful, beautiful. And so queen f3, queen e5, and so now most common move here is going to be bishop blocking, but this is just not going to be very good. As you can see, we have knight to d4 here. Queen to d3 is going to be the most common move, because if queen to e3, then you would have this little fork here, and you would be absolutely dominated. And so here, then we get this little idea with bishop to f5, as we get this little fork behind here, and he has to maintain some defense of this bishop, I do believe. And we should be just winning in here quite a lot. So queen c4 check. And so now just king to f8. He's going to probably castle here. And then we have this move. If we turn on analysis here, you can see just, okay, this is b5 here. And so let's turn all that off for a second. So the idea of this is that the queen is just actually trapped here. It has nowhere to go. The queen covers the bishop, queen covers the knight covers here, his own piece gets here and here. The bishop covers here, pawn covers here, pawn covers here, and the bishop covers here. And so really there should be no way for black to reasonably get out of this. And so a good try for white to escape here would be f4, trying to counterattack our queen and say, okay, well, you can't maintain defense of that knight there with the queen, and so or the bishop there with the queen. But we don't really care, because we absolutely can. It's not a hard concept. We just go down to d6 here, and the queen still has nowhere to go. Can't go here, 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 can't go here. everything is covered, and if the thing with the queen fails, then we even have this. I don't even know how this would fail. It doesn't make any sense to me, but we have so much advantage here. I don't see how you can lose this. And so that is going to do it for today, guys. Please make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below of a video you would like to see made in the future if you wish to continue following me. So this has been BlunderedGames. Signing off. Appreciate you guys.